Coffee provides antioxidants, chlorogenic acid, and potential health benefits for liver, cardiovascular, and brain function. For many people, it's a daily essential and a significant source of antioxidant intake in typical Western diets. However, coffee cultivation involves some of the heaviest pesticide used globally, and storage and processing introduce potential mycotoxin contamination, creating multiple pathways for chemical exposure. Coffee plants face numerous pest and disease challenges in tropical growing regions. The coffee berry borer, leaf rust, and various fungal diseases devastate crops without chemical intervention. Conventional coffee farming uses intensive pesticide applications, including insecticides, fungicides, and herbicides. Some chemicals used internationally in coffee production are banned or restricted in consuming countries, raising concerns about residue levels in imported beans. The roasting process affects pesticide residues in complex ways. High temperatures during roasting can break down some pesticides, potentially reducing residue levels compared to green, unroasted beans. However, roasting doesn't eliminate all pesticides, and some may be relatively heat-stable. The degree of roasting, from light to dark, may affect pesticide degradation differently. Mycotoxins represent a distinct contamination pathway. Ochratoxin A toxic compound produced by certain molds, can contaminate coffee if beans are improperly dried, stored, or transported in humid conditions. This is separate from pesticide contamination, but equally concerning from a health perspective. Chronic low-level ochratoxin exposure has been associated with kidney damage. Geographic origin significantly affects contamination profiles. Coffee from different regions faces different pest pressures and operates under different regulatory frameworks. Central and South American coffee, African coffee, and Asian coffee all have distinct environmental conditions affecting pest management needs and allowed chemical use. Certification systems attempt to address some contamination concerns. Organic certification prohibits synthetic pesticide use, though naturally occurring compounds are sometimes used for pest management. Fair trade certification focuses on farmer welfare, but doesn't specifically address pesticide use unless combined with organic certification. Rainforest Alliance certification includes integrated pest management requirements. Shade-grown coffee, cultivated under tree canopy rather than full sun, typically faces lower pest pressures and may require fewer chemical interventions. The cost premium for certified coffee can be substantial. Organic coffee often costs 50 to 100% more than conventional, representing significant expense for daily coffee drinkers. Fair trade and other certifications add smaller premiums. For consumers on tight budgets, the high cost of certified coffee creates genuine access issues. Brewing methods raise questions about pesticide concentration. Does the hot water extraction process concentrate residues in brewed coffee, or do residues remain largely in the grounds? Research is limited, but water-soluble pesticide residues would likely transfer to brewed coffee, while oil-soluble compounds might remain in grounds. The grounds you discard may contain different residue profiles than the liquid you drink. Decaffeination introduces additional chemical considerations. Most decaffeination processes use chemical solvents like methylene chloride or ethyl acetate to extract caffeine. Swiss water process and carbon dioxide methods avoid these solvents. For people drinking decaf specifically to avoid caffeine stimulation, being aware of processing chemicals seems prudent. For practical guidance, daily coffee drinkers face the highest cumulative exposure and benefit most from organic coffee, despite the cost premium. The daily consumption pattern means chronic exposure even to low residue levels. For occasional coffee drinkers, conventional coffee presents lower concern due to infrequent exposure. Origin matters when selecting coffee. Looking for single-origin coffees with transparency about growing practices helps consumers make informed choices. Blends may combine beans from various sources with unknown pesticide histories. Storage practices affect mycotoxin risk. Buying fresh roasted coffee in smaller quantities and storing it properly in airtight containers in cool, dry conditions reduces mold growth opportunity. Avoiding pre-ground coffee that's been sitting for extended periods also helps. The bottom line is that coffee's health benefits are real, with substantial research supporting cardiovascular and metabolic advantages. However, the pesticide and mycotoxin contamination pathways are equally real. For daily consumers, the organic investment seems justified. For occasional enjoyment, conventional coffee presents manageable risk. And remember that coffee quality varies enormously. Freshly roasted, properly stored beans from reputable sources generally present lower overall contamination risk than stale commercial blends, regardless of organic status.